We're recording.
I was gonna say I saw it was recording, but then I kept hearing you click things. I'm like,
Oh,
still recording? Okay. Hey there, everyone. It's your girls from Obscure Orations, me, Tay, her, Dana. And tonight we're going to be talking about the final season of Yellowstone. What a fucking fantastic show. Just like, we're starting off strong with the fact that it's a fucking fantastic show. The entire series is absolutely amazing. And my mom and I are both mad that we didn't start watching it sooner. However, it meant that we could binge watch the living shit out of it. And we did. And then we were promptly sad when we then had to wait for the second half of season 5. And then it started. We're going to start at the beginning with it of how angry I was within the first, like, I think 5 minutes of the show when they come in and they're saying that John Dutton shot himself and committed suicide. And I yelled at that TV and was so unhappy immediately out of the gate. Like, John would never do that. He is not that type of man. He's ready to go and, like, he'll shoot others, but he's not going to shoot himself.
yeah, they did him dirty. No doubt about it.
They did, like, those first 5 minutes. I thought for sure I was so fucking mad. And then as soon as Beth came into the picture and then she walked away with Casey, and she's like, didn't do it. Someone killed him. Like, okay, now that I can get behind because that seems legit. That is more likely going to happen to John Dutton than anything else. So, so much happened in this season, but it felt like, I'm going to say it felt good in a weird way. Like, everything came to a good close, and I'm happy with how it all came together because I wasn't sure as the season kind of progressed. Okay, first off, it was kind of confusing at the beginning, like the first, what was it, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, where they were jumping back and forth in time, but they didn't
Mm-hmm.
tell that they were jumping back and forth in time. So her suddenly showing up in Texas to take her husband away and go sleep with him, when at the end of the first episode, just shown back up at the ranch, I was very, very confused until it dawned on me. They're like, oh, they're actually like, so they're back in time. This is when you first got there. And can I just say that I would have shit myself had I been Teeter and that rattlesnake that was in her bed with her. The amount of
They gotta be warm too, you know.
no, thank you. I don't want to share a bed with you, sir, Mr. Snake. Please go back to your nice little den in the ground. That was not okay. I would have screamed bloody murder. They would have opened up the tent and just smelled shit and pee. Because I would have done both in my fucking sleeping bag. The snake would have left going, what the hell is wrong with that?
So I agree. They absolutely did John Dutton, Kevin Costner's character, a total disservice by making it look like he killed himself.
Yes.
Because in the 5 seasons that it was on, he never suffered from any type of mental illness. He never had any reason why he would be in a situation that would render him desperate enough to end his own life. So I really thought uh, Taylor Sheridan dropped the fucking ball in doing it that way. Yeah, I get it. Um, it was because the whore that Jamie was sleeping with hired the hitmen, and that's their specialty is to make it look like he took his own life. Um, so yeah, that bothered me. Uh, Taylor Sheridan's character bothers the right royal fuck out of me.
Such a
You know what? I'm probably the only human on the face of the planet that just has very ill contempt for that man as a in a whole. Whether it's his character on the show or interviews that he does, he just sounds so fucking arrogant. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Like, buddy, if you didn't have people watching your show, you wouldn't be where you are. So be fucking grateful once in a while. But anyways, when he killed off Peter's boyfriend, and you'll have to forgive me, the
Colby.
names, what?
Colby. That
Hurt. That
oh,
hurt hard. Because
I
you're not supposed to kill off the ranch hands.
what did he ever do to you, Taylor Sheridan? Like, what the hell? That that oh that fucked me up. Like that hurt so bad because that was one of those times that he caught me off guard because I wasn't thinking anything bad was going to happen. Like, okay, we already killed off Kevin Costner's character, John Dutton.
Right.
The freaking family are at each other's throats. They're gonna lose their ranch. Everything's gonna happen. It's going forward with all these other things. That bitch is still alive. That twat that Jamie was sleeping with still alive. So I'm like, okay, you know what? That's enough bad things happening now. And then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, I didn't even see the foreshadowing, but now looking back at it, when Lloyd is trying to break that horse, and he's like, oh, he's a man eater, man. Like, it's bad. We can't sell him. We're just gonna have to use him as like wolf food kind of thing. Didn't even. I was like, no one's gonna get hurt from that. I should have known. Then, like, okay. Then that kid goes in there, like you bastard. He said to stay out of that damn stall. Goes in there, and then you just watch like Colby go grab the kid, get him out, turn around, just be surprised by that kick.
Okay.
And you could, like, I felt it in my chest. The moment that that made contact, I could feel my chest. Like,
You knew he was dead.
oh, immediately. Like, the amount of force behind that, and then to be shoved into a wall on top of it. Like, there was no way in hell. And then to have the kid be the one who went just calmly as he could, go grab the gun and shoot the horse.
Yeah.
It was just, that must have, from a character standpoint, that would have torn apart that kid at that age. Like the guilt that you feel for having someone die trying to save you. Excuse me. Then the guilt of having to go and shoot the animal that you've been trying to take care of and you feel badly for.
Right.
And then you're feeling bad because the old guy who owns the entire ranch is now suddenly dead. And your entire world is turned upside down about 52 times over. And Teeter, oh my god, I legitimately cried when they told Teeter. I had several tears at that. My mom bawled. I just sat there and I couldn't believe that they did her dirty like that. Because I didn't see that coming after they literally just finally said, I love you for the first time that morning on the phone. And then, like, what, an hour later, dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I know, right?
I can't even understand the fucking words that come out of her mouth. I'm like, Teeter, I'm so sorry, Teeter.
Yeah. So, Casey's idea for selling the ranch so that it didn't go to,
Oh.
so that Jamie didn't get his grubby little sticky fingers on it.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody brilliant, because you know me, if I'm watching a show and I think something is not quite right or that should really, it shouldn't be that way, I'm gonna go and research it, right? So I did. And yeah, they absolutely could lawfully do that. They're in like real life, there would be nothing that anybody could do to stop him from selling the ranch at that discounted rate.
That the moment, like, I didn't understand as it was happening. I didn't understand what he was thinking. I was thinking that they were going to try and figure out a way to kind of like sell it, but then like buy it back at that cheaper price point so that they'd actually be able to afford it. So when they were actually talking about it, and what's his name there, Casey went up to Beth because she's the businesswoman,
Right.
and then starts asking her all those questions of, what would you say? I had a car, but I sold it to you for $20. Would I sell it based on the value of the car, or what I sold it to you? Like, what would the taxes be? Now in Canada, that's not how that works. You pay the taxes on the blue book value. So there's no,
As we found out today, because we sold our car.
yep. I would say so. You'll know now firsthand, fresh new experience right there. That for us, it's we pay the value that it is at the blue book, whether we like it or not. We could sell it for $20. You're still going to have to pay taxes on what the blue book says it is. So when Beth's face lit up as she's telling him, and then he starts to drive away, and all of a sudden her face, she does all the math, and she chases after his car and runs and jumps onto it. It's like, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? And I'm like, I still don't understand what he's thinking, but yay, Beth's on board. So am I.
Yeah, it was a brilliant plan. Um, I thought it was kind of lagging in terms of in the very first episode, it's John's death, right? And it just seemed like it lagged to get to
His funeral?
like from like point A to point B. It just seemed like it was like so much irrelevant stuff. Like okay, so Beth going to the 6666 to talk about selling the horses. Fine. Did we really need to see the strip poker game in progress? Like,
But I feel like that's part of his cocky, arrogant attitude, Taylor's. Like, I feel like that was probably something playing into his, like, I will give him this. I did not know that dude was so built. Just because he's always got like full layers of clothes on, so I'd never
oh,
noticed his arms before. So when he actually has had on like his tank top or shirtless, whatever the hell he was, I was like, holy shit, his arms are the size of Beth's torso. God damn.
yeah.
But I'm with you. Like that felt like there it didn't add anything to the story. I mean, the way that they tied it in later on, so that it kind of went into the story with the when Rip told her, "Honey, you can't go alone. Like I'm telling you, don't go. I forbid it." And her being like, "Yeah, that's cute. I'm going." And he was like, "You're not going to be happy with what you find," kind of thing. And she gets down there for the strip poker stuff. Then they go sell the horse. Then they come back, and he tells her that she has to do the strip poker thing if she wants him to do no commission. And then when she starts doing the strip tease thing, and he's like, "Hold on, I need to record this to send it to your husband. My husband's gonna fucking kill you." And he's like, "No, I won't." And when she gets home, walks through the door, has the cup of whiskey, downs it, pours some more, and Rip just looks at her and goes, "How is the strip poker?" Just the instant look from her. You knew. I told you. Don't you lose? Like that. I loved that line for it because before that, I was with you. I'm like, I don't. There's no reason to have this, but he did a good job in weaving it in to lead to what I think is the most animated story that you ever get out of Rip out of Rip's character when he tells that story about
how they met. Yeah.
yeah, because you think about any of the times that Rip is telling stories, he's always very monotone, and it's listen, fuck face, I will kill you, and
Go to the train station.
come on, I'll drive you, and it's very much at that one tone. Unless he gets mad, then it gets really loud and up here. But outside that, he sticks to it. But when he told the story about the two of them meeting each other, he was full anime. He was like, "Oh yeah, like so this one time we go to this bar, right?" It was just funny to listen to, and of course, listening to Beth and her one-liners all season long were fantastic. When he's like, "Yeah, so I was going with this girl. What's her name? Where she live? What's her social insurance
Yeah.
number?" Like, uh huh. And then we were dancing. You dance with this whore, honey? Can I finish telling my story?
And I think that now I loved Beth's character.
Oh,
Absolutely loved Beth's character. I didn't like the whole jealous Beth.
I mean, it's very much her. She doesn't like people touching her things.
So let me ask you, are you going to watch the spinoff?
The one with Beth and
Yeah.
oh hell yes. There's absolutely no hesitation. Like I've watched all the Yellowstones, like or yeah, they've all been Yellowstones.
1880, 1883 and 1923?
Yep, 1923. The second season's coming out February, I think it said.
Finally.
Yeah, took freaking forever. But I mean, I wasn't hugely impressed with 1883. I mean, it was okay. I kind of like knowing the backstory about how they got to that land. Cool. Um, but it was more so like I love 1923. That one I actually really love with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. That one
Mm-hmm.
is love it. So I will probably watch any spin-off that they do from the series. Excuse me. And absolutely love them. Other than like the early one was just too much Western for me.
Yeah.
Modernness to it. I'm not a big
Yeah. Norm wanted to watch them, so of course I'm sitting on the couch. To me, that felt a lot like the John Wayne westerns.
yeah. That was exactly it.
So yeah, I not my cup of tea. I did enjoy the 1923 though.
I think it's just that jump in time of era where like
And
I'm
and and they left it at a cliffhanger, so I'm like, what the fuck? Now it's been like what 3 years, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch the whole fucking season again before the next one comes out.
yeah, there's no doubt my mom and I will rewatch that again because we'll be sitting there going, let go again. We know there was a lot of shooting. There's a lot of near death.
Somebody jumped off a boat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right. Because they got married, the whole thing, and then he didn't accidentally kill the guy. The guy had it coming. Forgot about all.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming back to me suddenly. Now I'm
It's
thinking,
all coming clear again.
all thinking of Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now. How Canadian?
We're Canadian.
Bullshit. Um, but mild side detours that were actually related for a change for us. Um, I'm curious to see. So I had heard about the spinoff. I want to say like 2 days before the um, the series finale, just because there were so many things about the finale that everyone was like, okay, is it really the finale? Is it a fake finale? Is there going to be more? And then I had seen something and watched it. I think I want to say on the TikToks where they were talking about that they're going to do a spin-off with Beth and Rip, and that they were talking about that the other characters will be in it too, but it won't be, obviously it won't be on the original Yellowstone.
Yeah, it'd be on the ranch that Beth bought. What do you think about this? Yeah, it looks like good. Like, good, I bought it.
And him, wait, what? Honey, what'd you say? Bought it this morning. Firstly, we're not going to get rich off of this. Let me worry about that. Don't worry. She is. My friend and I both say the same thing where red flags, you shouldn't go for them when you want to date people. But those are the ones that they go flying by the screen. So I'm like, I like that. That's a beautiful looking red flag right there.
Right?
You're like, hey, I'm going to follow it over here. She is the biggest, brightest red flag possible. And she would be like the top of the list that I would follow in a heartbeat and be like, all right, let's go to the train station then. Come on, buddy. Don't ask no questions. Get in the car. My woman says so. Let's go. But
so the finale, the final episode, I was very happy that they finished off each character's story.
yes.
They didn't leave us hanging like who was going where, or,
Mm-hmm.
it was, Teeter went to the 6666 with Jimmy, and the one guy went after his woman who sings country music. So it was nice to see their storylines, their doors closed, basically.
Yeah.
I would have been severely pissed if I had no idea what the fuck was going to happen to those people. And it's not like they're relatives of mine or we're related. It's just I just spent 5 fucking years watching them on TV. I need to know what's happening.
I completely agree because I get so mad. So I'll tell you my favorite series ending of all time. And it's because they did it just like this. So they'll always be number one for me. And this would probably be number two because they did the same kind of thing. The show Downton Abbey, I don't know if you've ever watched it, you probably never would. Really, really fucking well done. Like the storyline, phenomenal. Characters, phenomenal. Just exceptionally well done. Plus, it has Dame Maggie Smith in it. Who doesn't want to
Right.
watch it? And she's sassy as fuck in it too. So it just adds everything. It had, in my opinion, the perfect ending to a series because everything, they bring it all to a perfect close. Everyone has their own futures. You know what's going on with everything. There's still room to continue, so they've gotten 2 more movies out of it past that point. So you still got more to it, but you didn't have that feeling of, I get angry. Okay, so have you watched the show Peaky Blinders?
It's on my list. Don't even wag your finger at me.
You need
It's
to
on
watch.
my list.
Oh, you get to it. You'll probably need subtitles for the husband.
Oh, he doesn't want to watch it, so I'm good.
Oh, then fuck, start watching it because holy God Almighty, that is such a good damn show. But the series finale still makes me angry because it doesn't end the way that it was initially supposed to end.
Okay.
And it too open-ended with too many questions unanswered, and the way that they finished it doesn't make sense for stuff, and especially with the character. Once you get to that, then we'll talk about it. But then, like I said, you have Downton Abbey, where it did the perfect ending, and now you have Yellowstone, that again brought that closure to each of the characters, where you're like, okay, Colby died, however, Teeter's now down at the 4-6s to go learn how to do everything.
And she's got his hat.
Yes. Oh, that again.
My heart.
My heart can't take this no more. And then you have the one guy, I can't think of his name now, but going off with his girl. You have the others going off, like them saying where they're going, even if it didn't show them, it's
Yeah.
going. So you kind of got the closure for all of it. You know that Kate is now showing his son how to raise cattle, and they have their own portion of Yellowstone. The Native Americans like watching the them buy back the land that they had essentially loaned out to um, the the Dutton family.
And the destruction of the
That
house.
that part was hard to watch for me. Like I was fine, like take down literally everything else. That house was gorgeous though. That part killed me. I wanted to cry at that part. So I was a little ow my heart for that part watching them as they were literally going through taking it apart shingle by shingle, block by block. It's like, oh
Board by board, I
yeah,
know.
just
I was
watching them.
like, damn.
That was such a nice house. Couldn't you have, like that would have been like a heritage place around here. We would have been like, you can't take that apart. Take all the rest of it. I get it. But
That
leave
a
that.
great community rec center
That was my thought. Like
on the
it's
res.
you could have easily used it for other purposes. But it made me happy to see the land go back to the minus whatever it was like the West Pasture or something like that that Casey and his family kept.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that made me happy, but you still had like it's kind of part of the tribe's reservation in a sense when you look at Monica and then her son. So it's still in their hands in a way, which makes me happy. So I loved that closing for it, and knowing that they're going off to go start their own thing. The family legacy is still continuing. It's just a newer, smaller version of it that they'll actually be able to, probably maintain without it dying off.
Yeah.
So I was glad for that. But okay. my favorite closing story in the season. Beth getting Jamie. I am, not even was, am still so happy over a week later, and I am still ecstatic and giggly over how she did that. That just, that warmed my little black heart so damn much. And I didn't get at first. I knew she had to have had a plan going into it. But when she first went in there, and then he started getting like the upper hand on her kind of thing, like, mm, Beth, this is getting scary. Like, I'm not gonna be. Had they done anything to her that would have like terminated her character, it would not have gone okay. I would have boycotted it all. Would have table
There
without
would have been an uprising.
without a doubt. But then to see how well she planned that, so that then when he went missing, she was attacked, she blacked out, she had a concussion. Even the cop when he's like, pretty with it, someone who's concussed. Her, not the practice. Oh, okay. Yep.
It was the innocence in her saying, I just came here to ask him why he wasn't at our father's funeral. I'm like, oh, Beth.
I couldn't believe that the cop believed that. And she's like, I was here to ask, and then he lost it.
Never mind the fact that she like fucking bear sprayed him.
Literally bear maced him. She stabbed him. All of it. My one friend was sad that Rip didn't get to take like a pound of flesh from him. She was like, I wanted Rip to get his few hits in for all the shit that Jamie did to him and how he was to him. Like, I would have been okay with that. Like, my main thing was that I needed to see, for anyone who's obviously heavy spoilers. We should have said that at the beginning. Heavy spoilers for this entire thing. But for anyone who may not recall, the reason why she hates Jamie so much is because when she was a teenager, she slept with Rip, her then boyfriend, now husband, um, got pregnant with his baby, and Jamie took it upon himself to drive her down. I want to say it was the reservation clinic because he wanted to go somewhere like off the map and got the baby terminated. But in the process of doing so, he also said that it was okay when they're like, okay, but this might mean that she'll never be able to have children ever. And
Yeah.
yep, that's fine. And didn't give Beth the option. So when she found out afterwards, then she lost her mind. Like she was completely distraught and devastated about it and has held that against him for decades. So to finally see her get her revenge on that asshole, oh God, that made me so.
It was satisfying. Although, again, I think that, and I don't remember if there was, but the beginning of the episode should have had some sort of trigger warning
Oh,
for 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 that particular scene, because I mean Jamie's a full grown man beating the fuck out of a woman, and yeah, that could set a lot of people off for all the wrong reasons.
I mean, I think for a lot of people, they've probably, you say gotten used to, it sounds bad. Um,
Yeah, I mean they could be used to it because they know what their relationship is like, but seeing that level of
violence.
violence could be triggering to some people.
Oh,
And
100%.
I say people because it could be a man that gets triggered too.
Oh God, yeah. Like that easily could have been. I think for a lot of us, we were all rooting for Beth, and when it got to that point, then it was like I said, it was that one go. Like, okay, it's getting a little nerve wracking here. It's like, okay, Rip, anytime now, anytime.
Jump on it anytime.
Show up. Foot, pedal to the metal. Let's go.
Oh,
Go
he was
faster.
speeding.
Oh, she was speeding more. Like even the phone call when when it dawned on him where she went, and he literally just grabs Lloyd, get in, and then starts calling her. And then when he yells at her, pull over the fucking car, and she just calmly, this is the situation. I'll let you get away with the yelling this time. Don't let it happen again, baby. I love you. But you better be
Click.
here. And then just speeds on off. I'm like, Rip, you need to speed on by. Speed on by. You all them wheels and start going faster, buddy, because it's going to be a problem very soon. And then when they just like once they finally get rid of the body and all that, yes.
So here's a hypothetical.
Oh no, it's not going to go well in my favor.
Oh no. I mean, what do you think would happen if someone stumbled across all them bones?
Right? I would love to see an episode, maybe in the future going forward, where the train station is discovered because I can't remember in what season they talk about the train station is like right on the border between
Wyoming and something.
yeah, like it's right there on the border, and I can't remember if they had said it's one of those like dead spots
Yep.
where no one technically has jurisdiction over it,
Yep.
but everyone uses it for dumping bodies. So I have more
Who
questions.
is everyone? Who
Yes,
are all these people dumping bodies?
that's what I want to know exactly. It's like, okay, oh, you think we're the only ones who use it? So does everybody else. Who? Who is everybody else? I need answers, John. I need answers right
And
now.
what happens if you get an Uber and you actually do want to go to the real train station?
Uber. Oh yeah, I'm going to the train station, please. They said it's in a general that direction. Oh,
Okay.
for putting on their gloves.
Gloves on.
Yeah, it's right over here. Come on, get out. Oh yeah, we just gotta walk down the hill real quick.
Yeah,
Okay,
look at the flowers.
like, damn.
Yeah, I would. That would be interesting if somehow in Beth and Rip's story,
Yeah,
their spin-off, it goes public that
there's a train station.
they found all these bodies and now they're doing DNA testing on them to see who they are, and they find Jamie.
Oh, yes, that'd be really good. Just because you think about it, everyone that they grabbed was basically always uh
A drifter,
or um convict, where they'd be like, okay, here you go. Excuse me. And I'd be curious to know how many bodies are down there. Like, I know they show us a few throughout the series, but if they've been doing it, like, what generation? This is another question. What generation started doing that? Because you think about back in 1883, you wouldn't have had to do that. Like, if someone trespassed on your land, you shot them, you could have just left them right there, or you strung them up from the nearest tree to say, hey, this is what happens if you're a cattle rustler and you're trying to steal my cattle. Or
right?
steal something from my land. You would put them up as deterrents. So when did they start using the train station? Was it actually like, was it legitimately a train station at some point in time? Is that what made them think of the name? Where they're like, oh, they'd go maybe hop onto the train station, or maybe the train stations where they used to gather all their rustlers and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I have so many questions now.
so many questions.
I need Taylor to answer them. Not this Taylor, the actual writer of the show. He needs to be like, excuse me, sir. You
They
need.
need to do it like a Q&A episode.
Yes, we have so many Q's. Could you please give us some A's? Like, I would watch the hell out of that in a heartbeat just to get some answers. To be like, okay. I mean, I would even love to watch, and I kind of hope that they weave it in somewhere at some point in time, because I know they were talking about doing. I think they're in production for a 1944 Yellowstone. So I would love to see that, to see the later generations, which if you get to 44, I think would be John Dutton's father running the ranch, and like a young John Dutton, or son, our John.
Yeah.
Um, because I'd be curious to see like what made him into the man that he is in the series that we know and love him as. I'd love to see what went into making that character, like at what
Hmm.
age. And not to mention, I would love to see the episode where he decided to say, hey, I'm going to brand my own son with the brand for Yellowstone to make him know that he's owned by this ranch.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I wonder, and again, inquiring minds want to know, is that a common practice, like in reality?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I need a ranch hand.
Well, it makes you wonder. So we know obviously cattle rustling is still a thing because we learned that from Pepper Ann.
Right.
And her book, we now know.
The notorious Texas swindler.
That's right, which is
Shameless plug.
I was going to say, in case anyone wants to buy it for Christmas holidays. Um, but it makes you kind of wonder, like, how accurate is it? How things are done on ranches? Like, how often is it criminals who are being hired? How often do mysterious deaths or disappearance happen? Um, like, what kind of stuff actually goes on these ranches? Because I know one of my mom's clients. I think it's her husband, who is like, have you started watching Landman? The
No,
TV?
and I won't.
Why not? It's actually really, really good.
It doesn't like it took a lot of convincing and talking, and I'm not going to say begging and pleading, but we were almost at that point to get me to even watch Yellowstone.
No, that I mean that I completely understand because obviously we didn't start watching it until season 5 was already out. So
We started watching it halfway through season 4.
yeah, we weren't even that early. We were later than you guys because it was just this past summer I watched it. So, but we avoided it because it was um the whole cowboy thing. Like that's not something I'm not into the cowboys and all that fun stuff. Neither was my mom. We were never into the Western era kind of stuff. Like
Exactly.
is John Wayne was not a good actor. He was not one that was like, yes, please put him on the TV. I desire to watch him. But Landman,
None of them were good cowboys.
no,
I in full disclosure, I had to watch those movies with my dad.
that was my mom had to watch them with. I want to say it was my her stepdad who would make her watch them. So she watched all of them all the time. She didn't like to. But I was like, all right, I'm in control of the TV. That's what you're watching, kid.
Exactly. And since there was no remote and there was only one TV per household,
No, you were the remote.
yeah, and the antenna,
Don't move. Okay.
touching the couch with a piece of tinfoil in your hand.
Little up on your right, a little, just a smidge.
Hold it.
Don't move. But like we're the same way. We avoided it for years, and then we were mad that we avoided it. And Landman was I had only just seen the commercial for it when my friend told me the next day. She's like, "Did you start watching it? It just came out last night." Like, oh no, I was like, it looks kind of good, and I know it's done by Taylor again, and he's a very good writer. He is fucking talented. Stroke his little ego there. Um,
Pat pat.
yeah, exactly. Um, but it is phenomenally well done again. And it's about something that I have zero interest in because I don't give two shits about the oil business. I know it's ridiculously dangerous and I have nothing to do with it other than give me the gas. That's all I care. Uh, but it is so well done. We talked to one of my mom's clients whose husband is actually what Billy Bob Thornton's character is. Like he's the landman, he's the boss, the guy in charge who goes around and gets the leases and makes them all work and all that fun stuff. So he was, I guess, talking about it. It's like, yeah, that show's actually really accurate to how it's done. Those are the issues that we run into. That's how this is done. That's like all of it's accurate. Um, so it makes me wonder to a worrying degree how accurate is Yellowstone? Like all of these places have train stations that we need to worry about. Should we be concerned?
You stop it. I mean, you stop and you think, how many bodies are buried in Yellowstone National Park?
It's a good question. Like you think about it, those are uh, preserved areas,
Yeah,
so you're not allowed to do anything. Yellowstone Ranch butts right up against it. You could hide bodies in there, and you'd never freaking know. Wolves would go through. Yum, 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 yum. Anything else that lives in there. Yum, 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 yum. No bodies left behind, And by the time that they're found, it's probably decades later.
Nothing but bones left.
Exactly. If you're lucky, some of the bones even devoured by the different animals at that point, I'm sure. Trying to get the freaking bone marrow out. It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
no.
jumping.
Norm's on the Taylor Sheridan bandwagon right now, and I don't know. Okay, I watched Yellowstone. It was good. I enjoyed it. I don't need to watch everything the man puts out now. Like, I'm not a big TV show watcher. I like movies and I like shows that I can binge.
Yes.
So they released the finale of What We Do in the Shadows last week.
I like that you're saying it as a question.
So as soon as it was out, I said to Norm, okay, now we can watch the final season. Because I know it's coming to an end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to watch and wait.
Yeah.
Watch and wait. I'd rather just leave it all and then watch it all at once. And we did that for season 3 of From.
Okay, yep.
Once it was done, all 10 episodes were out, we binged through them.
It's how my mom and I prefer to do it. There's certain ones that we make exceptions to, like House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, Yellowstone, Yellow Jackets when it comes back out. There's certain ones where it's because it's so popular and because it's what my friends will be talking about at the time, I'll go
You
through
have
and
to watch, yeah.
I'll go through and watch it because otherwise you're going to hear 5 million different spoilers and then be annoyed when you're going, oh, I don't really need to watch it anymore because I've heard all about it. So it makes it
Yeah.
like for some of them where it's like the huge, heavy mainstream stuff, those ones I'll watch while they're coming out just so that way if someone wants, I mean, for us, it's easier because we can then just go with it and be like, all right, here, we can watch it week to week. We can talk about it week to week if we want to, provided we're not busy and having a crap load of things to do. Uh, but it keeps us in the know, what's going on, that kind of stuff. Whereas for other things where it's less likely to be talked about or seen or known, like even the difference right now with Star Wars Skeleton Crew, I let it build up for the first 4 episodes before I even watched it because I don't know anyone talking about it right now because no one's really hyped for it, and rightfully so.
Norm and I are watching it. Meh.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't watched this week's episode.
So me, who's not a Star Wars person, you know that. My husband, who is a Star Wars person, I'm asking questions. I'm like, so is this before or after Star Wars happened? Oh, um,
I They haven't been clear about where this one falls on the timeline.
yeah. So I'm like, was that at in the real? I don't know.
It's from what
I need answers.
from what I know, at Atten is a new world. Like I don't remember ever hearing about it prior to this series.
Okay.
So, and because they made the reference in, I think it was last week's episode, where they said something to the kid about, oh, yeah, where were you for the war kind of thing? And they all looked and went, what war? Like, okay, so you would have missed, I'm guessing, just judging on what things are kind of around, I'm guessing that they missed the entire rebellion. So
Okay.
I don't know, I think that it takes place in the Mandoverse. So I think it's taking place in that same kind of timeline.
Okay.
About 10 to, I think it's, I'll say 10 years. Well, now I guess we'd be getting further out than that because of how old Mando is. So probably about 10 to 15 years post end of Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
The guy. Okay.
And then, like I said, at Atten, the name sounds familiar, but I don't remember it. Like, it doesn't sound familiar from a Star Wars standpoint. Like, I've heard it recently at something else, I swear.
I wonder if it was in the Acolyte. If it was mentioned in that series. Either way, we're watching it. It's all right.
Yeah,
I cross stitch while it's on.
It's not something. It's not something that I. Oh, that's how you spell it. That was way off with how to spell. I'm like, I don't even know how to spell at Atten. It's literally at and a hyphen. Attain. Atten. There we go. Still fucked up. I fucked it up when I spelled it. Yeah, by the looks of it, this place didn't exist before in the Star Wars lore, so they're basically just starting everything from scratch by the looks of it, kind of thing. So I'm curious what it'll end up tying into, and it's just. I have one friend who's like, "Oh my god, it's so great, it's good, it's like the Goonies meets Star Wars." I'm like, yeah, and the Goonies was okay. I'm one of those people where it's like, all right, I've watched the movie once. It was all right. I know the references to it now. Me. And that's basically how I feel about the show. It's me. I mean, I like some of the cool new things that they brought in, like the new little aliens, like the owl alien thing that was in last week's episode was freaking adorable.
I like that little elephant kid. He's adorable.
He is, but then you feel bad, like for me with the owl creature that was in last episode. I'm like, I know she's sentient, but I want to pet her and tell her she's a pretty girl. Like,
Cuckoo.
it's a pretty girl, and then probably be sent away to jail and be like, listen, you can't be touching people like that. But she's an owl back home. On my planet, she is.
One mustn't touch the people.
That's exactly it. She said no. She can't say no. She's an owl.
No means no in this universe.
So, like, that one is one of those things where I don't mind letting it build up from week to week. If I see it from week to week, cool. If not, meh, it doesn't really bother me because I don't see, like, even on all my Star Wars forums, I'm still not even seeing it. On my TikTok, I'm not even seeing it.
Really?
Okay, yeah, it's got to be an underwhelming reveal for the show. And then the one that I will keep up to week when it comes out will be the second season of Andor, because that one has a gigantic.
Yes.
And that one was such a well received first season that they got the second season. So I'm excited about that factor. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. That one I will.
Yeah, it's just so fucking hard when they're putting like 4 years between seasons. I'm like, come on, I'm like in my 50s. I'm gonna die soon.
In my 50s, I'm gonna die soon. 50 years later. It's coming, I tells you. You still don't have the third season out of this other show.
It's true.
By the time that you die, there's going to be 5 million different Yellowstone spin-offs.
It's like Yellow Jackets. Like, we both love Yellow Jackets, but come on.
Right?
Like, come on already.
My friend is rewatching the series right now because I gave her shit earlier, asked her what she was up to, and she's like, oh, I'm just rewatching Yellow Jackets. I'm like, excuse me, you were supposed to be watching the John Wick movies because you haven't seen those.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I said to her, then it made me think, I'm like, oh, do you know when the new season's supposed to come out? She's like, I think in January. Ah, it's taking forever.
March of 2025.
Oh, that's even further.
I know.
Not even better. God damn it.
Yeah.
This is all bullshit. This is why we can't remember anything. It's no different than House of the Dragon. It's like, 2 years between every one. You don't need 2 years. Lower your damn standards, because you clearly did for the second season. It wasn't nearly as good as the first. Not that
Never
I
look
mean,
at chicken wings ever again.
oh God, that was uncomfortable. Good on him for doing it, but nope. That was just an unhappy episode. Yeah, that's that moment where you're like,
Just the memory alone.
yeah. What episode are you skipping through? Oh, I'm watching all of it, but when it gets to that, it's gonna be whoop.
Fast forward.
Chicken wing, But I mean, like, even for that, the time spans between it. I mean, frick, The Last of Us season 2, I think is coming out this year. I want to
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
but it's again been 2 freaking years. Like, okay, y'all need to get your shit together. Either give us longer seasons like we used to have, or shorter times between the damn seasons.
And that's the thing, right? Like let's use Yellowstone as an example. Kate, Casey's son, Tate. At the end of season 4, he was what, 10?
Yep.
The beginning of season 5, he's 18 and a man. Like
Yep.
you can't do that and say that only 4 months has passed. The end of the first part of season 5 to the beginning of the second part of season 5
Yes.
was what, a year and a half?
I think so.
Okay. They're playing it off like it's been a month, and these kids, like the kid that Beth and Rip sort of adopted, the one that working at the ranch. I can't remember names. I'm bad with names.
Right now either.
He went from 12-year-old to 18. That bugs the fuck out of me. When you have a show that has a prominent child actor in it, stop taking 15 years between episodes or seasons, because I can't handle it. It's going to come back with gray hair.
So, an example for me, I mean, those were the two biggest ones where it was such a jolting difference that you noticed it right away. But another one was in the Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon. Okay, the end of season 1 and the start of season 2, while 2 years actually physically apart, it was only supposed to be, they mentioned 3 weeks, I think it was. They literally give a timeline in one of their council meetings that Allison puts out. It's been 3 weeks. Now, if you're gonna can tell me that something's only a 3 week, a short term difference, then you make your actors cut their damn hair to be what it was the last time you shot.
Or wear
And
wigs.
I was just saying, if they have a problem with it, then you put a wig on the damn head, because it drives me absolutely batshit crazy when you look at Jace and the end of season 1, short hair. By the time you start season 2, long flowing hair about my length or longer. That doesn't happen over 3 weeks. Fucking shave it. Fix it, make it make sense, make it better, do better. Because otherwise, I just get mad. And like you said, in Yellowstone, it was so drastically noticeable when you took the kid that they adopted, and he was a heavy set kid because he had his little baby fat. He was young. He hadn't reached
Exactly.
growth spurt yet. And instead of playing into that and saying, okay, hey, it's been, like, lie, tell us it's been months or a year, something extended. That way, when he comes walking out onto the farm for the first shot, and we all
Well,
watch and go,
I looked at Norm, I'm like, who's that? Because I didn't know. He's like, oh, that's the kid that Beth brought home from the hospital. I'm like,
Yep.
No.
I legitimately had to Google it because I didn't believe it. They said his name. I'm like, that ain't that kid. That's a different kid. You all hired a new one.
So you know I'm watching Criminal Minds.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm on season 15.
Ooh, making good headway now.
I am. But again, another show. Even though there's still 22 to 24 episodes in a season. They're pretty good. Season 14 ended, and Rossi had a little bit of salt and pepper at the temples. Season 15 started and he's snow fucking white. I'm like, the fuck? Because the timeline was like a night. Like the finale of season 14 and the beginning of season 15 was literally a 12-hour span, and Rossi went completely gray. I'm like, did I miss something? Hair Club for Men stop putting out? Like, what's going on?
That was such a startling difference, because I can remember when that happened and my jaw dropped. I'm like, what? Like, were you dying it this entire time? And if you were, could you have been more gentle with us instead of just being like, and I mean, he has solidly white hair. Like, it is, there's no peppering in it left anymore. Absolutely.
I know.
So it's like, okay, I mean, it looks nice because it's all solid. Well done. Good on you. But could we please put some pepper into there just for the first few episodes and, like, let it slowly grow on us?
And Reed's hair.
I don't think I know what his hair looks like now.
So for most of the series, Reed he's got very wavy, thick, unruly hair. And then he gets a haircut, and it's short and it's manageable. And then 2 episodes later, it's all unruly and long again. And it's like a fucking accordion playing with his hair. But it's a day, a week. You know, I was off for 2 weeks. I was in jail. Like, come on. Either give the kid a hairpiece or just shave him and let his hair be short. It's that's what I don't like about time jumps. Time jumps like that just annoy the fuck right out of me.
They do for me too. Like, it's always the hard.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I know I'm not boring. It's always the hardest thing for me, just because it's just so much of a jerky change that I can't get behind it, because it changes so suddenly that it pulls me out of the story of the thing, because then I have to pause it for a minute, look at my mother and rant, and then return back to the show, because I'm mad at the fact that it's like, okay, like you said, give them a wig. Give them a wig so that you always know what length of hair your people are going to have. I mean, I always find it's the worst with the men, because a lot of times I've heard women are put on contract that they're not allowed to get the haircuts.
Right.
They're only allowed to get it done by someone on set who can keep it looking the same way that it's been. So why not put that same requirement on men? Because they're the ones who have the most knee-jerk reaction. They go and change something, you're like, yeah. Like, okay, well,
Because
that's
they're
not
men.
come back. I don't care that you're men. We're putting the damn same restraints on you that we have as the women. They have to keep the same hair. You have to keep the same hair, at least until we're done this. And then, you know what? Go ahead, you can change it.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, you look at someone like Casey in Yellowstone.
His hair has always been the same.
Yeah, I was literally just registering in my head. I'm like, his stayed the same the entire time. Like, I don't know how he managed it.
Now, Monica's was long.
Yes, but
And then she cut it, but she cut it on the show, and they kept it short.
Yep.
And in reality, she had cut it short because she was in she did another movie where she had short hair.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we just watched it on Netflix. It's pretty good.
See, now that makes sense because it was something that's happening outside in the real world, but they did such a good job of adding it into the show so it actually depicted her doing it.
Exactly.
So then, you know what, you understood, you saw it, you got to accept it. Even like the way that she did it, even the scene that she does it in after she's lost her baby.
Yeah.
And she's doing that haircut. And it was one of those moments where we were watching it and I turned to my mom like, this is so accurate and poignant for how women deal with it. Something happens in our lives.
Especially Native.
Yes.
Because when they have a loss of a family member, that's usually when the men cut their hair. Because their braid will go in with the body.
So it was such good symbolism and such good representation across the board of, like, I know in a lot of cases, a lot of men will make fun of women for the fact that they'll go and they'll chop off all their hair when they've gone through a breakup. Someone passes away in their family. Something drastic happens in their life, and their response is okay. Either going to get a tattoo, a new hairdo, or buy an entire new wardrobe.
Right.
Usually it's all three because we're women and we're going to do it.
Okay, for me it's one, maybe two. Tattoo and haircut.
Yeah, I was saying I never do the new wardrobe thing.
But well, you know what it's like for me to have to go clothes shopping.
I'm going clothes shopping. No, those will stay there. They're fine. They're fine.
Dana, your pants are falling off. You please go buy new pants.
They're fine. I can hold them up. Just we're gonna get you little suspenders that go over your shoulders.
Oh, today when Andre and Chloe came over to look at the car, I literally had on like my Jaws t-shirt, Orca. My Jaws t-shirt, which is like 4X, so it's huge. My baggy jogging pants, which I can't tie enough to stay up. And they come in the house, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I look homeless.
You're like, I'm sorry, but like not enough that I'm gonna change.
These are my house clothes.
we're gonna be looking like this today, and we're still gonna sell the car. It'll be fine.
And tomorrow, and Christmas Day, and the 26th, and I may shower on the 27th because family's coming over.
I want to be comfortable the entire time. I love that the one day this week that I'm actually legitimately working is the day that you're having your family over.
The Friday?
Yeah.
So how did you score today and tomorrow off?
Oh no, tomorrow I work.
Oh.
It's a weird 6-hour shift, so I'll be working 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah. I know. Melissa told me yesterday she starts at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I was going to say she's on the opposite. She's on day shift. There'd be no way. There'd be no way in hell. I'm up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm not a pleasant person. I would just be going to sleep.
I'm just going to have a mini moment here. That's so fucking stupid. I get it. I mean, I used to work there too. I get that it's manufacturing and shit goes out in the mail, but one, Canada Post was on strike. 2, UPS closes at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve.
Okay, yep.
As does Pure Later, FedEx. But the thing is, even if Pure Later, FedEx, UPS pick something up at 5:30 at night, it ain't going nowhere until the 27th because Canada closes for the 25th and the 26th. Americans don't celebrate Boxing Day. Canadians do. So, like,
Side note, I didn't know that Boxing Day is just an us thing.
really?
I I thought for the longest time, I think it was either last year or the year before. Like it's been within the last 2 years that I learned this. I, I thought Boxing Day was something that was worldwide. Like I've always thought it was like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Like, okay, it made sense to me. And then when I started talking to all my European friends, even my American friends, and they're like, you know, really? This isn't a thing for you guys? This is just a Canadian thing? Oh,
Yeah, it's just a Canadian thing.
I'm learning. So now anyone who's listening to this, just in case you're wondering, it's just us. But hey,
Eh,
it's free off.
well, I mean, when you think about it, for Americans, Thanksgiving is their big holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have Thanksgiving and Black Friday the next day.
Because only in sports dominated by Americans would those players have to work on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Basketball and football. Nobody playing hockey on Christmas Day.
No, they're all at home going, okay, pass the mashed potatoes, the
Right.
stuff.
We have families.
We got families. Americans don't have families, but us Canadians do. Then you need Boxing Day to recover and put out all your boxes.
Well, I forget when Norm and I were watching, and I saw a commercial for an advertisement for a football game, an NFL football game on Christmas Day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fucking bullshit. Norm's like, are you okay? And I got on I should run the NFL rant with nobody should have to work on Christmas Day.
Hmm?
Even if Joe Blow player 58 on
Joe Blow
Pittsburgh
8.
is single and has no kids. He still has parents.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a family.
He could still
And
have wants to get together with even.
and you shouldn't be worrying about getting a fucking touchdown. You should be eating turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, gravy, sweet potatoes, corn, mac and cheese, whatever the fuck you make. It's just ridiculous that they have sporting events on that day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because I'm now looking at it, and there's 2 games on that day. It's the Chiefs at the Steelers, and the Ravens and the Texans.
I think that was the commercial we saw of the Chiefs.
That
The
would make
Chiefs and the
Yeah, because then the next day, Boxing Day has one team, and then it's back to like the normal time where it's Saturday, Sunday.
yeah, it's dumb.
The Monday night. Okay, so then
You know what it is?
what?
You know what it is? Doink! My light bulb just went. The NFL and the NBA play games on those 2 days so men have an excuse not to help their wives in the kitchen.
Oh, that's a pretty good point. Because you think about it, all the men folk always sit out in the front room. Now, that being said, not all men, but there are plenty of them who go, "Hey, the game's on. I'm going to sit in here or watch the game."
Thanksgiving's the same thing.
Yep, I was going to say because you think about it, um, even in Friends, one of the Thanksgiving episodes, where Chandler's pretending to be into football, and Phoebe looks over and goes, "Okay, the other guys aren't here. You can switch it over to the Braves." Yay! And he switches it.
I love that episode.
So good.
Who's winning? That team!
Them on the screen. Damn good show. Such a damn good show.
Yeah, I used to love their holiday episodes.
Oh,
Christmas Aardvark. Hanukkah aardvark.
Hanukkah armadillo.
That was it. And it started with an A.
And to think it's the Hanukkah armadillo. Hey, you get to celebrate for 8 days, Ben. Come on and celebrate Hanukkah. Woo!
Where's Santa?
Yeah, I want Santa. Yeah, Santa's pretty damn cool, guys. Such a good show.
Good show.
That pretty much wraps up our thoughts and recaps about Yellowstone. Still, I am so glad that I got around to watching it. Sad it didn't start sooner. And if anyone hasn't seen it, just go watch it. It's so worth it. So worth all the time. Every time that you finish an episode, you want to keep, you just want to plow through and watch it.
And for the record, us talking about John Dutton dying, or aka Kevin Costner's character leaving the show, that wasn't a spoiler because that was so in the news before it happened. Because Mr. Costner and Mr. Sheridan were not seeing eyeball to eyeball.
That was all over the tabloids. It was hugely known.
Yeah.
And I will say that I'm curious what would have happened had Kevin Costner not gone off and made his flop of a movie. And actually been able to be around for the second half of season 5. Because I'm sure it would have been, again, freaking fireworks done. They still did a good job. Don't get me wrong. I still actually really loved the second half of it. But I'm curious how things would have changed.
Yeah.
We always would have just had him be killed off. It could have gone in a completely different direction where they killed off Jamie. John stays the governor. Beth takes over the ranch. They figure out how to get all the money that they could possibly need.
Yeah.
So on. For all we know. So, really well done. It's just always that question will always float around in the back of my head of, well, what would have happened if?
What if?
See that
famous last words. What if?
What if I go and just sled down very
dream sequence?
That's exactly it. Dream sequence.
Wasn't that from Wayne's World?
I want to say yes.
Pretty sure it was. So Taylor and I will be back.
Tomorrow. Technically.
We will be releasing an episode tomorrow that we recorded a few days ago with our friend Nikki Peacock in the UK. It is Christmas Eve ghost stories. Apparently that is a tradition in England. And Taylor and I suddenly became British. And so it's only 30 minutes long, give or take. There's no video, it's all audio, so give it a listen, and then when I do post it, it's gonna be follow the red rabbit hole. Follow down the red rabbit hole.
Because it's
the podcast.
It's not our own podcast. We were the guests on Nikki's podcast, which is the Red Rabbit Hole, RRH, right?
Yes.
We don't look into these things before. This is how you know it's unscripted, is because we sit there and have those moments of probably.
Oh, is that the name? Anyways, I'll be posting all of their socials and links to their podcast. So, give it a listen if you want to listen to some ghost stories for Christmas Eve. Start a new tradition with your family. Gather around the TV, watch Terrifier 3, and listen to some ghost stories.
Oh, the family warmth for Christmas. It's
feeling the love.
Everywhere you go. So we will have that, and I think that's it. I think that sums it up. We might be back for another episode next week. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, if we show up, we show up. If not, we'll see you in the new year.
That's right. Ciao.
Have a happy Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.